Hi everybody, welcome to Stories and Rhymes and More with Valerie and me, Reggie. How's everybody today? It's so good to see you all. Hopefully soon we'll be able to see you in the library. But until then, you're going to have to check us out here. The big news, starting in a few weeks, we'll be having story time on Zoom. So we'll get to see each other. The only catch is you're going to have to email us to set up for more information to get your link. But we'll be sending out that information soon. You'll be able to pick up library information for the summer reading program, which will be all virtual using Beanstack, and lots of other fun stuff. Maybe some scavenger hunts, some game boards, and some trivia on our windows. So stay tuned. We'll be sharing all that information with you soon. Yeah, I can't wait! He's always excited about all that stuff. So let's get on to our story time today. Today's special visitor, and we always have one every day, is Grandma. This is Grandma from the Little Red Riding Hood. Hi, boys and girls. What's wrong, Grandma? I'm a little under the weather. I have the sniffles. But I hear I'm going to get a visit from my granddaughter, Red Riding Hood, later today. That always makes me feel so much better. Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear that, Grandma. We'll check in more about that a little later, okay? Sounds good. Achoo! Oh, goodness. She does need some bedtime, I think. All right. So we're not going to start with Red Riding Hood. We're going to start with a rhyme. But I wanted Grandma to get a chance to say hi. So we're going to start with the mouse that runs up the clock. You know, hickory dickory dock. So, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down, hickory dickory dock. So nursery rhymes are really good. They're good for us for phonological awareness. That's so that we can understand all the rhyming that we hear in stories and rhymes. Nursery rhymes are wonderful. So I like to feature at least one during all of our story times. Okay, so the next song we're going to do is a fun new song that I just learned. And it's called The Finger Family. It goes like this. Daddy finger, how do you do? Here I am, how are you? Mommy finger, how do you do? Here I am, how are you? Brother finger, how are you? Here I am, how do you do? Sister finger, how are you? Here I am, how are you? Baby finger, how are you? Here I am, how do you do? It's just another way to show our fingers. So last week we did a finger song as well. So we've got our fingers, we've got our thumb, and then we have 4 fingers, including our pinky, which is usually always the baby of the song. All right, so now let's share our first story. Today is the story of the lion and the mouse. A lion lay asleep in the forest. His great head rested upon his paws. A timid little mouse came upon him unexpectedly, and in her fright and haste to get away, ran across the lion's nose. It woke the lion from his sleep, and a huge paw landed right on top of the mouse. Eek! Spare me, begged the poor little mouse. Please let me go, and someday I will surely repay you. The lion was much amused to think that a mouse could ever help him, but he was feeling generous that day, and he let the mouse go. Some time later, while stalking around praying in the forest, the lion found himself caught in a net, and he roared fiercely. The mouse knew the voice, that loud roar, going right through the forest, and he quickly found the lion struggling in the net. So the little mouse started gnawing away at that rope that bound the lion so tightly together. She gnawed and gnawed, and pretty soon the net parted and the lion was free. "You laughed when I said I would pay you," said the little mouse. "Now you can see that even a mouse can help a lion." You know, kindness is never wasted. We can always be kind to each other and love each other and show how much we are all important in this world. All right, so our next story has to do with one of my favorite creatures, a dog, and we're going to do it in the form of a song. We're going to do the song Bingo. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, but now we're going to take away the B, and we're going to do a little clap instead of the B. Ready? There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, ooh, this is getting hard. Let's take away the I. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there goes another letter. What's this one? This one's the N. Here we go. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, what letter's next? The G. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there we took away the O. There was a farmer who had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and that was my favorite doggy song. I just love Bingo because you all have to practice and practice all of your letters. It's so much fun to clap too. All right, so we have another story, and it's featuring our special guest star, Grandma. She doesn't come out right away, okay? So you just gotta hold on a little bit. But here's one of her granddaughters, Red Riding Hood. Hi, Red Riding Hood, how are you today? I'm good. I get to go see my grandma today. See, she's not feeling very good. I heard that. I heard she has the sniffles. Yeah, so I'm going to go see her. I think that's a great idea. Can I tell your story? Yes, please tell my story. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in a village near a forest. Whenever she went out, the little girl wore her little Red Riding cloak. So everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. That's right, they do. One morning, Little Red Riding Hood asked her mother if she could go visit her grandma, as it had been a while and she had heard she wasn't feeling well. Yeah, Mama said I should go. She thought it was a great idea. I think it's a good idea too, Red. So they packed a nice basket for Little Red Riding Hood to take to her grandmother. When the basket was ready, the little girl put on her red coat and kissed her mama goodbye. Love you, Mama. Love you too, Red. Now remember, Red, go straight to Grandma's house, her mother cautioned. Don't dawdle along the way and don't talk to strangers. The woods can be very dangerous. Don't worry, Mama, said the Little Red Riding Hood. I'll be careful. So Little Red Riding Hood took off, and she noticed some lovely flowers in the woods, and she forgot her promise to her mother. She picked a few, and she watched butterflies flit around, and she listened to froggies squeak, croak, croak, croak. And she didn't notice that a shadow was approaching from the forest behind her. Suddenly, a wolf appeared. What are you doing here, little girl? The wolf asked in a voice as friendly as he could muster. I'm on my way to see my grandma, who lives through the forest near the brook, Little Red Riding Hood replied. Then she realized how late she was, and she quickly excused herself. I'm sorry, I can't talk now, Wolf. I have to get to Grandma's house. Bye! And she rushed down the path. The wolf, in the meantime, took a shortcut. Yeah, I got a shortcut to Grandma's. The wolf let out a little breath from running and arrived at Grandma's and knocked on the door lightly. Oh, thank goodness, dear. Come on in, come in. I was worried sick that something had happened to you in the forest, said Grandma, thinking that the knock was her granddaughter. The wolf let himself in, and poor Granny didn't have time to say another word before the wolf gobbled her up. How awful. I can't believe he ate Grandma. The wolf let out a satisfied burp, and then he poked through Granny's wardrobe to find one of her nightgowns. And then he crawled into bed and covered himself up to his nose. And then he heard a knock on the door. Who is it? He called with a crackling voice. It's me, Little Red Riding Hood. Oh, how lovely. Do come in, dear, croaked the wolf. When Little Red Riding Hood entered the little cottage, she could scarcely recognize her grandmother. Grandmother, your voice sounds so odd. Is something wrong? She asked. Oh, I just have a touch of a cold. Achoo! Squeaked the voice of the wolf, adding a cough and a sneeze at the end to prove a point. But, Grandmother, what big ears you have, said Little Red Riding Hood as she edged closer to the bed. Oh, yeah, the better to hear you with, my dear. But, Grandma, what big eyes you have. Yeah, the better to see you with, my dear. But, Grandma, what big teeth you have, said Little Red Riding Hood, and she was starting to get scared. Oh, that's the better to eat you with, my dear, roared the wolf, and he leapt out of bed and he began to chase the little girl all the way around the room. I'm going to get you, my pretty. Come here, you little one. Almost too late, Little Red Riding Hood realized that the person in the bed was not her grandma. You are not my grandma at all! And she ran across the room, through the door, shouting, Help! Wolf! Help! Wolf! He grabbed the wolf and made him spit out his poor grandma, who was a bit frazzled by the whole experience, but she was still in one piece. Ta-da! Yeah, I'm okay. Still a little sick and a little slobbered up, but I'm better. Oh, Grandma, I was so scared, said Little Red Riding Hood. I'll never speak to strangers. I'll never speak for strangers in the forest again. There, child. You've learned an important lesson. Thank goodness you shouted loud enough for the kind woodsman to hear you, and he was able to save us all. The woodsman knocked out the wolf, carried him deep into the forest where he would never bother people again. And Little Red Riding Hood and her grandma had a nice lunch and a nice long chat. Yeah, we had a great time catching up, especially now that Grandma's feeling a whole lot better. I hope that wasn't because of the wolf. It was just good to see you. That wolf. You better stop bugging me. All right. And that was a fun little version of Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, so we have one more song to share today, and it's called The Five Little Ducks Went Out to Play. So if you hold up your fingers, you can play along. 5 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, quack, quack. Oh no, but only 1, 2, 3, 4 ducks came waddling back. 4 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 and oh no! 1, 2, 3 ducks came waddling back. 3 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, 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 and 2 little ducks, 1, 2, came waddling back. 2 little ducks went out to play over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, quack, quack. But only one little duck came waddling back. 1 little duck went out to play over the hills and far away. Mama duck said quack, quack, quack. But no little ducks came waddling back. But the papa duck said, quack, quack, quack. 5 little ducks came waddling back. And I thank you for joining me today for Stories and Rhymes. Oh my. Have a great day.